Hello and welcome, everyone. Happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day. It is love month. It is love day. I hope you are feeling the vibration of love in the air. If not, we can generate that, not a problem, because it is the highest frequency on the planet. It heals all things. So today is day 3 of our Manifest Love Challenge. Today is focused primarily on allowing. So check in, let me know who's here, chime in, say hello. And if you were here prior, yesterday and the day before, let me know how you did on your homework. How'd you do with your Frankenperson? How'd you do with your release session yesterday? What big things came up that you feel that you need to process through and release? And how are you doing with all that? For some people, releasing is pretty easy. For other people, it takes a minute. So I honor wherever you are on the scale, on the spectrum, and know that that releasing process is a process, and it's going to be a lifelong thing, because other things will continue to pop up, right? We're never going to be perfect. We are these beautiful spirits in these human bodies in this human incarnation. So there's always going to be things that challenge us or that trigger our our subconscious mind, are the things that we were conditioned to believe, our societal norms, all that stuff. There's no escape. It's just like a fish swimming in, water. We're surrounded by this stuff. So it's, and this is why I do the work. It's just important to be mindful about our responses, what we're thinking, what we're creating, what we're allowing in, what we're releasing, all that. And like I said, it's an ongoing situation. So I see Olivia. Good morning. Yay. Olivia's ready for day 3. Stephanie says, I'm still working on the work. So I imagine you're still doing the journal. So we've broken up the journal in 3 parts for all 3 days. So hopefully, Steph, you were here yesterday to hear about the release part. If not, go back and listen, because that might help you get through your journal. You don't have to do that alone. And then let's go ahead and just dive into today's topic. So today's topic is really fun for me. I love the allowing part. So I love the day 1 and I love the day 3. The day 2 is a little bit sticky, because we dig in deep and we pull out those weeds and we create the space. It's a necessary process, but it's not as fun as day 1 when we revision and use our imagination. And it's definitely not as fun as day 3 when we just allow, for me. However, in my practice, I know a lot of people who really struggle with step 3 and allowing. So it's something that maybe I take for granted. So I'm going to be gentle with this. So there's the whole, idea of being receptive. And there's a lot of people who are blocked off and blocking their blessings. So some people really need to work on their receptivity. And I'm here to give you the tools to do that. So, okay, Stephanie says she was here. Good, good, good. All right. So if you guys have any questions too about anything, go ahead and chime in and ask those questions. This is a good time to get some coaching. If you were stuck or confused about a concept that we've already covered, or something that's going on in your own personal life that you would like some clarity about, feel free to ask, right? So let's go ahead and dive into day 3, the allowing process. And I'm going to pull up my notes before I share my slides. So just a review, day 1, you asked. So you got really clear about the love that you desire. If you already have it, you're already clear on how you would like to improve and grow that. If you are looking for a new partner, then you have gotten clear on what that ideal person looks like. We did the Frankenperson on day 1, right? And then you And if you're looking for friendship and your tribe, then we've got that covered too. So it all applies. Love is love, right? The romantic love, of course, is a little bit more specific because that's somebody that we'll probably spend more time with. And of course, we want our values to match and all of those things. And then on day two, you aligned yourself with the things that you are wanting. So we worked on releasing limiting beliefs. First, we had to uncover what those limiting beliefs might be and healing those old wounds or those old stories, like changing those stories up, changing those quick to judge ideas or thoughts that we have. Like I used to say when I lived in Long Beach that there are no good men in LA. So why bother? That's a very limiting belief, right? And so that didn't serve me very well. So we have to really change up what it is that we're telling ourselves so that we can open up the space for better. And LA is a huge place. Come on. Of course, there's really great people, beautiful people, amazing people all throughout everywhere. Um, all right, so now we're going to do the step of allowing love to flow into your life. So you'll still be processing your blockages, your thoughts and ideas, and doing releases as they crop up, pulling those weeds as they pop up because they will. Because here's why: you asked for clarity, you asked for a clean slate and healthy soil from which to grow, right? And so all of those things that are in the way will start to show themselves. It's nothing to be afraid of, it's nothing to be alarmed by. It's just like, oh, yeah, that one too. Okay, let's pull that weed and let's explore and see what we want to do with that one, right? So, this is a gentle process. And the more you do it, the easier it gets. And then eventually you'll start to notice that your garden has very few weeds. You're still going to have a few here and there and new ones that will pop up out of nowhere, right? As the world continues to evolve. And so we can just gently nurture our garden, our desires, our dreams, ourselves, our mind, the people who show up, all of that. So many people do all this manifesting work, but then they unconsciously block themselves from receiving because they kind of suck at receiving. No offense. Maybe you doubt it's really possible, or deep down you just don't feel ready. Manifesting isn't just about asking. We did that. It's about being open to receive what is already here or what's on its way, right? So over the last 2 days, we focused on aligning our mental and our spiritual energy with the frequency of love. That's awesome. So there we are. And today we're going to take it a step further by aligning our physical environment, our space. We're going to adapt and talk about some feng shui principles. I love feng shui because feng shui is the energetic alignment of your space, your physical space, ensuring that everything around you is in harmony with the love that you're calling in. And when your physical space is in alignment with the love that you're calling in, it's like this reciprocity. What goes around comes around. So here we are, we're thinking and feeling about love, and then if our space is all muddled up and not conducive to it, it's hard to stay in that vibration, right? And so when we create our space to be matching that, to allow and to create the energetic flow to happen in our space, that keeps us up as well. So it goes both ways. One feeds the other. And so when you're doing that, you're two for two. It's good practice. And so whenever I am in the manifesting phase of things, not only do I get this straight, but I get my space straight too, so that it helps me stay up. And then it also creates the space for the thing, the people, the money to come in. A lot of you know how I keep my day timer, and I have every single day a green highlighter space for money to drop in. So I have my buckets. I'm expecting it, and so then that's how I call it in. And so however you need to call it in, you do that, but we're going to talk about some very practical things that you can do today. One of the things that I really want to uh, alert you to, did I already put that in the stream? I want you to take my receptivity quiz if you haven't already. It's the same one that I created a couple of years ago. So nothing has changed. If you've already taken it and you know where you land, that's great. Well, I don't know. I would say take it again and see what's changed. So my receptivity quiz will let you know if you are if you need work in that area of receiving. Like I have a very good friend who you know, she is amazingly generous. She gives and gives and gives and gives and gives, but she has the hardest time receiving. So, say for instance, and this is with me, this is with anybody. We go to, go have lunch or something. She will like block off the server and pay before you ever have a chance to even try. And part of me loves that. But part of me is like, come on, let me in, let me contribute, let me have some sort of um I don't know, energy towards this. So let me show you my gratitude, let me show you my love here. So she's love bombing us all the time by being so generous, but it's really I see her having difficulty receiving. And I see this a lot in people, I see this a lot in practices. I used to be like that a lot. I'm not anymore. I'm so cool with receiving. I just have a really simple prayer about it, and whatever I receive, whoever wants to give it to me, I'm like, yes, thank you. That's so amazing. Wow. And then I know that I will have an opportunity to pay that forward some other time, because that's the nature of our universal laws. We will always have opportunities to give and receive, give and receive. There's this flow that happens. And when we cut off that flow by not allowing other people to contribute, or not receiving very well, then it kind of stops that energetic flow. So we want to keep that open. We want to keep that wide open, right? And not turn the or get, what I see is the garden hose. When we say no thanks, we put a crimp in the hose. We have to be mindful that this isn't just about us, it's about the flow that is happening all over the place, the dynamic of give and take. Okay, so let's do ahead. Okay, so I put the receptivity quiz link in the chat. So feel free to give that a look, take that, see what you have changed if you've already taken it. And then if you're new to it, just get a pulse. Because a lot of people, that's one of the things they don't ask. I don't see that as being a very common concept, especially in our spiritual world here. It's like you can't receive if you're blocked. You can't receive if you're not receptive. So, and then also too, just I you know one of the steps here today that we're going to talk about is intuition. If you are not good at receiving, then how, pray tell, can you receive those intuitive hits? If you're always just thinking that you have to figure it out yourself, or go alone, or this white knuckle do it, this fierce independence. I consider myself to be fiercely independent with an entourage of spirit helpers, right? So I know that we will figure it out. It's not just me. I'm not an island. And so I know that the messages will come through intuitively in their due time, divine timing, as long as I am open and receptive. It's a huge concept that I think that we don't talk enough about. We don't talk about receptivity enough. We don't talk about imagination enough. So I'm here to bring these concepts big into our reality as much as I possibly can, right? And kindness. All right. So let's talk about your receptivity level. I want to just ask you, so when love and kindness comes your way, do you receive it fully or do you deflect it? Like when somebody gives you a compliment, oh, this old thing. Or do you say, wow, thank you, you know? And you don't have to repay the, oh, you look great too. Can you just receive it? Can you just receive it? How hard is that for you? I used to struggle with this a lot until I studied the works of Louise Hay, who really talked about self love because it all boils down to self love. It really does. So, when love and kindness comes your way, and this is going to be your homework too, somebody opens the door for you, somebody offers you a compliment, somebody wants to pay for your coffee, somebody wants to let you in traffic, don't wonder what's in it for them, because our culture has raised us to be quite cynical. Just, go, wow, that was cool. That was gracious. Thank you. I accept, right? And then just let it be. Stop, period, point. We don't have to do anything. I know a lot of people are like, oh, how do I repay that? What do I have to do now? It's like there's no agenda. Just let it be, right? And then another question to ask yourself as far as receptivity goes is, do you believe that you deserve an amazing love story? You have seen those amazing love stories play out. I'm not talking about the Hollywood stuff. I'm talking about real life people who have been together for years, who are still happy. Couples who, I remember when I when I was in college and I was dating this boy, he was bringing me home for the first time to his parents' home, and we open the door and they're on the sofa making out, and I'm like, "Oh my god, I can't look at that." Because I was like, what, 20? And they're probably 40s or 50s, and it was like, "No." Well, now I'm that age, and now I'm like, "Oh yeah, that was so cool. That was so amazing," right? And they had a love story, they were just always together, always hand in hand, and just they had that ooey gooey love for each other that I just thought was gross at the time, but amazing now. So, another question, if love showed up for you today, would you truly be ready to embrace it? Are you ready? Are you ready? Because you're here and you're asking for it. Are you ready today? So if the answer is, no, well, let's get ready then, because you can't ask for something and then, well, maybe later. You're blocking it, right? So we're going to get ready today. All right. So another thing that I wrote here was that so many of us have subconscious blocks to receiving. If you're always the giver, or if compliments and affection make you uncomfortable, that's a sign that your receptivity needs expanding. We need to open that up, right? All right. So, one of the tools, I want to give you a really practical tool. But first, Olivia says it's like we are blocking them from receiving their blessing when someone blesses us. Absolutely. And who are we to block their blessings? Great point, Olivia. Thank you for sharing that. Uh, Very good point. So again, it's not just all about us, right? It's about that flow, and let them have their blessing. Let them have their blessing. Um, Okay, so one of the activities that I have done since I was like 15 or 16 years old, when I lived with my grandparents up in Mariposa, which is the next town kind of to Yosemite. So anyway, the night sky is amazing. The stars, the Milky Way, you can see the stars are in your face, right? Because the sky is just so non-polluted with light, and so you can see everything. And one of my favorite activities to do was to go outside. They had this like a 3-acre property up in the hills. It was really beautiful, surrounded by oaks and all kinds of different trees, and it was really lovely. One of my favorite places. I love the way it smelled, the manzanita, all of that. It's like I'm there now. So one of my favorite things would to go out and lay on top of my grandma's big boat car. She had one of those Gran Torinos. They're huge. Anyway, you can totally lay on the hood or on the roof or whatever, and just gaze up at the stars. and those stars literally in your face. And early on, when I started to do this, I noticed that, oh my gosh, there's the Big Dipper. The Big Dipper constellation is right over me. And I started to, I'm kind of well versed at using my imagination, always have been. And I imagined that the ladle of the Big Dipper, God was holding it, like the hand of God, and it was just pouring all these stars, stardust, blessings all over me, all over me. So I inadvertently, I mean, I didn't know what I was doing at the time, but I created a meditation and a meditation on receiving blessings. And so this is something that I practice now, and I have the words to describe it now. Didn't then, but it was something that I just naturally did and knew to do and knew that it was working. And I knew that there was a big power out there that was just blessing us all the time. And I can see it. I didn't even have to imagine. I could just see it with my eyes, right? So that is one of the things that you can do. You can, whatever that feeling of abundance is that you see in your real 3D life, well, it's all real, but the 3D life, the stuff that you can physically see, incorporate that into a meditation. Like imagine all those grains of sand, at the beach, or all the sunsets that we see every single day. All of those little things that we can see that we take for granted, and notice the abundance of them, the plethora, the amazing colors of the sunset, all of those things. Those are such blessings. I see that stuff and it brings me to tears because I have this feeling that, wow, the creator, source, God, universe didn't have to be so cool in making everything so amazingly beautiful. Like it's eye candy. And it saddens me that we miss that. We take these things for granted so much. So part of your homework is to get out there and look a little closer at things that you may take for granted and see the abundance and see all the blessings and really receive that into your spirit as a gift. Gifts, it didn't have to be like this. It's like, wow, you love us so much that you give us all this love, all this beauty. Really? Wow. We could have just had the basics, procreation, blah, 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 die, or not even at all. So it just depends on how deep you want to get with this concept. But I urge you to notice the abundance, the path, the flow of well-being that exists. It's always existing. Notice it. Notice it today. And then you'll be in this place where it'll be hard for you not to notice it, and then when you find yourself in a funk or upset about the kids or dwelling on politics, you can pull your head out and look outside and go, wow, like I do. Though that mountain range is amazing. Look at the snow on the top and the trees, and there's lights. People live up there. Wow, So this is a very simple tool that you can do. It's just called awareness of your surroundings and the blessings that already abound, that are your gifts here just for you. Pretty amazing stuff. All right. So let me look back on my notes and see what else. Okay, let's talk about intuition. So as we are in this allowing phase, right? We're being receptive, we're counting our blessings, we're looking at all that stuff, we're allowing other people their blessings. I love that. We are appreciating, we're in gratitude. And now, because we asked for a very specific thing, we're asking for our current relationships to improve or our new person to show up, right? Bring it. So now we really stay open and receptive. And as that opens up, we really get into our intuitions and we trust the signs the information that comes through for us. I really do believe that our spirit guides, our higher self, God, universe, I don't know exactly what it is, but I know that there is some benevolence out there that is working behind the scenes for us. I know that. I don't know exactly what it is. We have different words for it, but it is amazing. And they're always speaking to us. I call them they, right? And they said it was okay. So I thought I was being rude. But they or it is always whispering to us. It's always speaking to us. Sometimes it gives us a nudge. Sometimes it's an obvious sign. Sometimes it's a burning bush. And then other times when we don't listen to it, it's a big shove in the back, right? So I like to avoid the big shoves and the big tower moments and be really proactive because the universe is always responding to what we're asking for. So a lot of times I tell people, be careful what you're asking for because they're gonna deliver it. Are you ready? Do you really have the space for it? Is that what you truly, are you prepared for that? Because they're gonna bring it. They're gonna bring it. All right. So with your intuition, before anything else, tapping into your intuition, the information that is coming to you through your heart, we just have to be still and listen. So many people overcomplicate this. It is so simple. It really is that simple. We are wired already. We're already swimming in that cosmic soup, the benevolence, God source energy. We're already in it. There is no separation. There's only the illusion of separation, or we get distracted and our attention is somewhere else, but we can bring our attention right back. And so it's just about quieting ourselves, stop trying to figure it out, stop trying to look for all the answers and all the hows and all the whys, and just listen. Some people, that's very difficult practice because we're raised in a society that says, do something, figure it out. My philosophy is, and I saw this on a board when I used to live in Ojai at the wellness center. It said, don't just do something, stand there. I love that. I'm going to make a t-shirt one day. Don't just do something, stand there, be quiet. Let your entourage, let them speak to you, let them communicate with you however you receive that, right? And if you want to know how to receive that, you can also take my other quiz on your intuitive superpower, like how spirit or how you receive those intuitive hits. Do you hear words? Do you see images? Do you just feel, body stuff? Do you have body responses, or do you just know? And maybe it's a combination of all those things. So take that quiz also and find out how you best receive, because we all have heightened senses that we use more than others. And so it's important to know how you receive. And then you can grow that by coming back and learning how to do that, right? Or reading books. There are some good teachers out there that will help you develop your own intuition, your own psychic senses, your spidey senses. You were born with them. They're not just for the elite few. It's just about growing that muscle and really trusting the process. It's so simple that people are doing it, but they don't think they're doing it because it's so simple, right? They think everything has to be hard when, especially intuition is not hard. It's your natural state of being, right? So here are some signs when your intuition is speaking to you, and I'd love to know how you guys receive it. So chat in the chat box about how you receive. How do you know when you're getting an intuitive hit or your intuition is talking to you? How does that work for you, right? So some people, they get a gut feeling about something. They're like, I talk about that double take. It's like, wait, what? That was for me. A sudden idea or an inspiration out of nowhere. It happens to a lot of people when they're in the shower, when they're doing nothing, when they're open and receptive. That's when the information comes through, right? And then we can also see meaningful signs, symbols, or repeated numbers. So a lot of us who are doing this work, we have like a dictionary that we have created for ourselves. Everybody's dictionary or language, spirit language dictionary is going to be different, So when I see certain numbers, it's my cue. When I see 111, for example, I know spirit is listening. I know that they have my back. It's like, why are you trying to figure this out? You're doing this all wrong. Go ask them, and it'll put me back in alignment with my truth of knowing that the universe, God, spirit, source has my back. I don't have to do this by myself. In fact, they can do it better, and we can collaborate and co-create together. Don't forget them in your equation. I think it's pretty easy to do sometimes. Okay, so we're going to see signs, symbols, numbers, animals, all kinds of different signs. And when they're repeating, that's worth looking into. And if you don't know what it means, Google it. You can literally just Google that stuff and see. Now, sometimes those answers will resonate with you and sometimes they won't. So if it doesn't feel right, that's okay. You don't need to force it. And then eventually you'll gather your own. It's like, oh yeah, that shows up every time I'm thinking about this. And then you'll start to connect those dots too. So there is a place for our logic to come in here, right? So we get the intuitive hits and we feel these things, but sometimes we don't quite understand what they are, and that's okay. And so then we'll say, okay, clarity, please. Show me more. I need to clarify a lot of stuff that comes through. It's like, what's that? Who's that? I don't know. Show me more. And I know that they will. And so then that's when our intellect and our logic comes in. And so we can unite them and use them both. So a lot of times, we jump here first. We need to stay here and just allow. And then as they become obvious, like I call them the burning bush signs, then it's like, oh, that. Okay. Got it. Right. And then when we feel drawn to a specific place, a book, or a person, that's your intuition talking. I hear that all the time in my practice. I get people, calling me or making appointments to have an intuitive session with me or a coaching call. And they're just like, I don't know, I just saw you and I was pulled in. It was like I had to. I'm like, good for you. Good for you for following your intuition. That's how it works. I don't know why, but I just had to, There's your clue, right? Okay. So how are we doing so far? So Olivia is saying that she has been seeing a lot of number signs like crazy. And when I do, I say thank you. And I love it. I got it. Yes. Yes. That's how simple it is. That's all they want too. I checked in with them on that, Olivia. I really did. I was like, am I supposed to build an altar for you? Am I supposed to wear a turban for you? Am I supposed to dress up for you? I don't know. And they just said no. Just call us them, call us they. We don't care. Just call us. So there was a real casual response that I got to all of the things. And so when we're just like, thanks, I love it. Awesome. We're on to the next thing, and that's what I constantly say. It's like, wow, you guys are so good. And then I'm off to the next thing because we are having this human incarnation. We are not, we don't have to fall on our knees and stay in a state of gratitude and prayer or lotus position for hours and hours. They're working with us just the way we are because they love us. That's called unconditional love, right? So make it easy, make it simple, make it breezy, because that's how they are. You can get serious too if you want to. It's your rodeo. But I'm just telling you, you don't have to, right? Okay, let's get back to, and Stephanie says, I try to look for signs. Steph, there's no try. Take the try out. The signs will just show up. When we're looking for signs, of course, we are going to maybe find some, but it doesn't feel as authentic because I know that I'm trying and I'm looking. And so I'm like, I know that that's me. So instead of trying, we're just in our life. We're just driving. We're just, you know, listening to the radio. We're just outside. And then all of a sudden, this squirrel runs by real close. And then you're like, what was that? Why did that happen? Or something just happens. You hear somebody over talking and saying something that you were looking for an answer for, and then boom, it's like, oh, that's my answer. So we don't look for the signs find us. And they might be finding us through our RAS, our reticular activating system. I don't care how they do, but they do. And so we're open and receptive for a message, and then we're busy doing our stuff. We're in the zone, we're going for a walk, we're playing with our kids, and then, that's the noise I have. It's like ding, just there it is. And it literally comes out of nowhere. That's when you have the sign. And they do show up as numbers, people, words, songs, animals. So just stay open to the different meanings. And then if you're not clear, write them down. Write those things, especially the recurring ones that you see. I remember when I moved into one of my, when I first moved here, one of the first apartments that I lived in by myself, and it was so cool. And it had this really pretty bamboo plant outside the window, and I was at the second floor in the kitchen, and it was just like, I don't know, it was my nirvana. I loved that space. So I would just stand there and stare at the bamboo at night. And I remember this one hummingbird with a bright pink breast just flew up to my window and just hovered there and hovered there. And then it went away. And then it came back and it hovered there and it hovered there. And I was like, Mom, she's checking on me. She's like, that was, and so you'll just know. You'll just know. And especially the ones that keep coming back. It's like, wow, that one was really super colorful and really bright and very femme. And I was like, that felt like such a blessing. And my mom, being there, congratulating me. It was like a housewarming party almost. It was when I very first moved in. I never saw it after. I never, I don't connect a whole lot with my mom, but I do connect with a lot of my other relatives. So yeah, take the tryout stuff. And then Olivia says, I asked my guides that I want my marriage to have more love and spice. And then you posted this class. No coincidences. That's right. You called me in. Yes, you did call me in. A few of my clients called me in. I'm thinking of one in particular who lives in somewhere in Southern California. But yeah, it's like, oh, you're so close, but you keep on digging up the seeds. You keep on digging up the seeds and looking, is he here yet? Is he here yet? And I'm like, no, we got to trust the process. So so this class has been working on me for a little while. So I love it. No coincidences. I don't believe in coincidences either. It's all divine timing, right? It's cool stuff. All right, let's get into our last concept. Oh no, it's not the last by far. The vacuum law. I love talking about the vacuum law. I don't know what it's really called, but that's what I call it. So it talks about like nature abhors a vacuum. So whenever there's an empty space, God or the universe comes in to fill it back up. There's no escape, right? So this applies to clutter, old relationships, and outdated energy. So I tell people, hey, whatever you want a new wardrobe, clear out your closet. You want a new car? Clear out your garage or your space where a car would be, right? You want a new love? Let's clear out our bedroom. Let's clear out our house so we can create space. And we'll talk more about those feng shui tips in a minute. So when you are clearing all this stuff out, you are telling the universe, hey man, I really do trust this. See, I trust this so much. I'm getting rid of this stuff. So, when I see people hoarding onto things, what they're saying is that they don't trust that there's more. they're done. It's like, no, I have to hold on to it. I have to keep it. I have to, because there is no more. Well, the universe hears that, and so they're not going to give you any more, and so we have to get into a place where we can let it go, let it go, let it go. So we're going to declutter our space. We're going to declutter our emotional space, which we did yesterday. We're going to release an attachment, whether it's a situationship, a what if, or a toxic pattern. We're going to make room for real love. So if you got a situationship happening, burn that shit to the ground. It's just clogging your pipes. It's taking up valuable real estate, and I mean, I'm sure it's there for a reason, and you're learning all kinds of things about yourself, but I would say release that before it just implodes or whatever, right? The universe knows what you want. So we have to work with it so that it can give you the thing that you are wanting. I call that the Passover, like if you're full and here comes spirit with all their goodies. And if there's no room at the end, they're just going to pass right over you and go to the place where there are empty spaces, where there are grateful people, where there are people who trust, where there are people who are really aligned with themselves going, yes, please, yeah, that's exactly what I want. Look it, I have an empty plate for you. I have the room, I have the space. So it's something that we don't talk about a whole lot again, but it's something that's very important. Do you have the physical space? Do you have the mental space? You know? So let's talk about those easy peasy, fun feng shui tips that I live by and I do. And I'm pretty much a minimalist, so they're really easy for me to do. Some of you might have to clear some more space so that you can implement these things, right? And to really move things around. So energy flows where space is available. If it's not available, pass over. If you want love to enter your life, you have to make room for it, literally, right? And so some of you have taken some of my feng shui tips. I'm not a feng shui expert by any means, but I've read many books and I love the topic because it's like just the physical mirror of all the things that we do spiritually. It's like just in real life, right? So we're going to work on making your bedroom a love magnet. That's one of the things that we want to do. We want to have 2 nightstands. We want to have 2 of everything, right? We want to focus on making space for another person. Pretty common sense, right? If you are living alone and everything is single and singular, that's not very inviting. And it's always telling you're always seeing the same, oh, this is all single stuff, single, single. And it just reiterates and feeds into the single mindset. So we're getting into a mindset of couple everything. Oh, we need 2 lamps. We need 2 nightstands. We need, entry sides on both sides of the bed. We need 2 spaces, drawers, room in the closet, room in the medicine cabinet. We need 2 of champagne glasses in the cabinet. We need sets of dishes that accommodate 2 people. So there's these things that you can do that really fill you up and put you in a real mindset instead of just imagining. It's like, oh no, hell, I'm getting ready for this. It's downtime, right? And if we want to spice up our relationship, then we're going to go get the stuff that's going to spice it up. We're going to do the things that create the space for spice, right? We're going to say yes when they ask. we're going to do certain things that maybe we didn't have the space for before, whatever that is, but now we're going to open up the space to create that, to have that, to allow everybody to show up. One of the feng shui specifics is to clear out anything underneath your bed, especially if it's ex's stuff. So underneath the bed, there's got to be flow. Like we want air energy to be able to flow around things. It really does matter because we don't want the energetic blocks. We want to sleep on matching pillows. We want to have, sets of two for everything. Um, Also creating that balance, and then creating the space. Set a place at the table for two. Make sure that your artwork reflects connection and love, not loneliness. I remember seeing that on The Secret, how that the feng shui expert went into this man's house, and he always had the same kind of picture of just this one solitary, snobby kind of woman, and wondering, how come I can't find love? And she said, paint it. Oh, he painted those pictures, by the way. So he's painting these singular, far away, distant women. Of course, that's what he attracted. So then he started to paint couples and twos and romance. And then, of course, that showed up in his life because, we're mind, body, spirit, all things matter. And so when we can inspire ourselves, when we get our space in order, when we get our energy in order, then we're 3 for 3, right? Unstoppable. And working with our entourage also, so maybe that's 4 for 4. Yeah, so how is it that you guys need to maybe feng shui your space? What's 1 or 2 things that you can do to bring in the thing that you're wanting, whether it's new love or spicy love, the spicy current love? Let's look at that. All right. So let's see. Step 5. I want to tune into the guidance and the signs. We talked about that, trusting your intuition, like seeing those repeating numbers. The number 22, now you're probably going to see 22s a lot because I just put it in your RAS and it has to do with couples, but pairs, start seeing pairs of everything, 222. And if it's singular, make it a double. All right. And then when you know that love is on its way, you will start to feel a sense of calm expectation instead of that digging up the seed. Is it growing yet? Is it growing yet? You'll have a calm expectation knowing that, yes, I placed my order, and yes, I'm feng shuiing my space, and yes, I have this wonderful entourage that is always responding to me. The confidence just goes up. And then you know that there's also this divine timing. You just trust the process. There's a different level of confidence in the expectation, not a white knuckle expectation that you have to make it happen, but an expectation that it is already here. And now we just continue to do the allowing work. We just continue to pull some weeds. We continue to create the space. We continue to give thanks and gratitude and get busy with just our work and whatever else we're doing, right? So we don't hyper focus on this stuff. We don't micromanage this. We just allow and have this grace around the unfolding of all of this, right? So also one of the things you're probably going to do is you're going to notice couples everywhere. You're going to notice people in love. You're going to notice people being romantic and spicy. You're going to notice all the things that you're wanting to incorporate. So spirit is going to be giving you some great ideas, and encouragement and inspiration about that. It's like the universe is mirroring or giving you a preview for what's next, what's to come. So also, you're going to see unexpected invitations, those coincidences that I don't believe in, synchronicities, or new opportunities. So your job is to follow through. When you have a new opportunity, a new synchronicity, a new coincidence, get curious, open the door. What's in that box? Explore that. Don't just shove it away. Don't push it away. If you do that, that means that we need to work on your receptivity still, right? So get curious. It's like, wow, that was weird. How did that person end up here? Wow, okay. My flight was canceled and here I am sitting next to this. Start getting curious and allowing these things to happen. So this is really good medicine also for anxiety. So when people get upset about things not turning out the way that they want, and they're just all upset and, doing a Karen or whatever, it's like, well, wait a minute, maybe, just maybe, the universe has something better in store for you. Consider that. So calm down and look for the magic and look for the opportunities that are here and available. Not everything has to go according to our plan. What is that saying? That God laughs when yeah. So allow, open, flexibility. These are all the things that are necessary for the next, the next evolution of this manifestation journey, which is very exciting. Okay, let's go ahead and look on our day 3 receptivity stuff, allowing. So here, of course, is where you can write your notes, all the things, the ideas that came to you today in this conversation that you want to incorporate. And then here's a little receiving worksheet. So you can, write this stuff down. There's so much power when we write, when we speak. It's a validation. It's a confirming, because a lot of times our thoughts are so fleeting. So this is a great way to capture these things also, and to really lock it in. Like, what I'm allowing in. What are you allowing in? I'm allowing love. I'm allowing kindness. I'm allowing generosity. I'm allowing beauty. I'm allowing abundance and prosperity. I'm allowing myself to see the wonders of everything around me, right? And this is how I feel. So talk about how you feel, write it down. And then, of course, I'm big on affirmations. Write down some affirmations. I have a whole worksheet on affirmations. You can write those on those and then bring them back here, but you can write down some affirmations here as well. I like to start a lot of my affirmations with I am, the 2 most powerful words in the universe. Whatever follows the I am is the magic. This is the stuff that the universe is going to give you and respond to. So I am so lovable. I am in a beautiful relationship. I am poised and ready for the love of my life. I am ready for sexy time with my husband. I am fill in the blanks. I am so grateful for love. We didn't have to have that. Didn't have to happen, but it did. We could be just like animals and just mate. I don't know. They might have feelings. I don't know. But we sure do. That is a given. And then ask yourself, how will this help me? When you allow the things that you're allowing, how is this going to help you? How is this going to change you? Right? And then just keep on writing some notes. Maybe draw a symbol or a few words about receiving. Maybe some signs that you see, the recurring numbers, the recurring words, that song that keeps playing on the radio, not the top 10 one, but the one that's like from the 90s that you're like, why are they playing this one? Oh, it's for me. Listen to the words, right? The things that make you go, those are the things that I listen to. Another thing that is necessary for us in this allowing space, excuse me, is to keep our energy afloat, right? We're doing the feng shui, we're pulling weeds, and then we can also have some extra inspirations. So this is a time to write down those very practical things that you do or that you would like to do that really get your energy up, because the higher our vibration, the better point of attraction we are, the higher point of attraction that we are. So know that we're always attracting, we're always bringing in. So do we want to attract when we're down here? No, we want to attract when we're at a pretty high level. So staying there is part of the game. That's why I do my work. It's all about redirection. I'm here, don't want to be here. I want to be over here. I don't have to be here all the time. Ecstasy has its place, but that's not what we're shooting for. We're shooting for, right, just a higher vibration, a positivity, an allowing place, an open place that feels good. That's where intuition comes in. We're not shooting for joy and ecstasy at every given moment. Those are fleeting and those are amazing. But if we had that all the time, they wouldn't be as amazing, right? So I like to shoot for a nice high ground of open availability, receptivity, flexibility, awareness, mindfulness, appreciation of all the things around me, beauty, and the big thing, allowing again, right? So we're going to tune into the things that really get us there. What are your favorite podcasts? What gets you there? I have a lot. Tony Robbins does it for me. James Wedmore, who is a business coach, has a spiritual foundation. His work, I love it when he talks about the spiritual parts of things, not so much the businessy parts. That stuff works too, but I'm much more interested in, the spiritual parts. What books can you read? There's so many audiobooks. I have a list of spiritual must-read books on my website. Look through that. And they're in audible form as well. If you don't have time to sit and physically read, you can listen. What songs light you up? What kind of music lights you up? What videos can you watch to keep your love energy up, right? What courses can you take? What kind of media can you fill yourself with that keeps you in that higher place? I know I love watching Gaia TV. That's one of my favorites. So when I'm too inundated with the world, I will go to my Gaia app. And it's like, okay, talk to me, Gaia. I can't take this anymore. Fill me with the stuff that is real. Fill me with the stuff that really matters. So what are those things for you? Also, one of my cheesy ones is I love a good Hallmark movie, right? I'm watching this one on, is it on Peacock? It's with Andy McDowell. It's called Away Home, and it's time travel. But there's some stuff that I just dig on Hallmark. Not all of it, but some of it. But I like the slower pace. And then, of course, on Netflix, Sweet Magnolias. So, I mean, that's not my entire reality. I can watch some pretty hard-edged stuff, and I do like horror films, surprise, but I love them. um, but I really keep it balanced. And I know the tools that I need to dig into when I need a bump, when I need an uplift, when the politics of the world is like too much in my sphere and I got to push it back out, right? So here's your toolbox of media and things that you can use for yourself that you're like, I don't have to be here. I don't have to be in this vibe. I prefer to be in a different vibe. I used to watch motivational music videos on YouTube. Sometimes I still do, but now there's like some of them, they're just too preachy and yelly. I guess I've been calming down with age, and it's like, don't yell at me. I don't like that. But some of them are still pretty good, but a lot of them are just too type A, happy medium. So find whatever works for you. And then let me know in the chat what you already do that can flip your switch in a minute, turning on a certain song, turning on certain music. That usually is the quickest, fastest, for a lot of people to change their state. This is all about changing our state, changing our energy, getting from here to here, and then there's many times where we're way up there, and that's fun. And those are special. So that's not exactly what we're shooting for. Remember, don't put that expectation on it that you have to be like, whistling I don't even want to say that term, but you don't have to be like rockets and rainbows all the time. When we just have to be at a high level of love, receptivity, right? Okay, so while you're doing this, the rest of this workbook, the rest of this journal is all about keeping yourself and your energy at a higher place so that you can allow all the tools that we can do to keep ourselves in that higher frequency. So body, mind, spirit, check in. we're going to check in with ourselves. How do I feel? What's my mind doing? How does my spirit feel? So this is a good time to do a heart test. Am I taking care of myself? Does my body feel okay? So this is like the dashboard. And then if we see something that is off a little bit, then we can go and redirect that. We can offer it something. Body, I'm all stressed out. Okay, time for some self-care, right? My mind feels sharp, alert. Aha, I'm good. My spirit, I'm a little sad right now for the state of the world. Okay, well, get back in your bubble and be a proactive source so that you can affect your own energy and the energy around you, right? Be a solution. So these are just check-ins that you can do with yourself. Olivia says, I love listening to music to move up my vibration. Absolutely. I think that that is a universal. That is a universal vibration riser. Riser. And also too, what I see with people who don't even have they're not here to manifest. I just see it as an observation of humanity. The things that raise people's spirits are the top three that I see: nature, music, animals. These three things: nature, music, animals. So when we can get out in nature, play with our animals, take them for a while, I mean, it's that unconditional love, unconditional stuff that just keeps us grooving high. And music, being the universal language, everybody also can relate to. All of these things everybody relates to. Okay, so there's your mind body check-in. And then while we're doing this, we're going to check in and give yourself some celebrations and rewards. Like you catch yourself redirecting a negative thought, that's worth celebrating. That's big deal. That's a really big deal. And it's like, oh, I almost stepped in that and I didn't. Or I did step in it and then I redirect myself. Wow, that's cool. That is progress. And so today you can celebrate. How are you going to celebrate? Are you going to maybe go for a walk? That's how I kind of celebrate, kind of break up my energy, or call up a friend, or, how are you celebrating? What are you going to do for yourself? That's a big part of this evolution, noticing your improvements, noticing the things coming in, the manifestations. How are you going to celebrate that stuff? Because it's a big deal. And then it becomes like, even if you become a pro at manifesting, it still feels like magic. It still feels like a big deal every single time. And then you're just like, oh my God, you guys are so good. This is so fun. It just gives you the confidence, the reassurance, the validation that you are wired magically and that they are working with you. And when we get this validation, it's like, oh, I'm not making this stuff up. You guys are amazing. This is amazing work. So keep notes, journal, celebrate, right? Okay, a couple more. A gratitude tracker is always fun. So you can keep your vibration up and notice the people, the places, the things, the experiences that you appreciate and have gratitude for. Like, wow, that person at that restaurant gave me the best service ever. Man, that guy let me in traffic wise. Did you see that? That was really cool. And just noticing the kindnesses, and writing them down. When we are in a place of gratitude and appreciation, we're at a high vibration, but we're also at a high point of attraction, bringing more of that in. And so we just start to see, when we're in this phase, when we're doing this intentionally, everything just gets better. Yeah, we're going to get the love of our lives, and we're also going to get really good service, and people are going to be really nice to us. They're going to see us glowing, and there's going to be this oozing that's coming out of you that everybody is privy to, that everybody is responding to, right? Not just the love, not just the main person, but all kinds of people. They all feel it. So it's all good stuff. And then ask yourself, what did you find challenging to appreciate? All those different things. But don't focus too much on that. It's just there for your observations so that you can, work on the redirecting again. Redirection. So here's your affirmations. So I start them with I ams and love is, and I have a couple of blanks for you guys to fill out your own affirmations about love. And then the letter to the universe about your new love and what you want to say to the universe about them, helping and assisting and whatever comes to your mind. A letter to your future self about the things that you've learned along the way, the advice that you would give yourself, and whatever comes up for you, the bravery for doing this, the courage for stepping through, the courage to have the faith and the knowing that you can create worlds, and how you have been creating worlds and how you continue to. And then that was the last, but I realized that I forgot one of the most important letters in this, and I'll send that to you. I'll make it first and then I'll send it to you. But it's a letter to your future partner, a letter to your future partner. And this could be the partner that you have now in the future, or it could be the new person in the future, right? But how is this happening? A letter to that future person. If it's your current person, how have they changed? How have they improved? How have they improved your life, your relationship? What are all the wonderful things that they are doing and that they have done and that they will continue to do? And then the same with your new person. You say they have been with you for a year. Write a letter to them. How has this journey been? How has this relationship changed you? What do you love and appreciate about them? Right? So that is a really important letter. I apologize for not putting it in here, but it's like, duh, when I saw this again, it's like, okay, we need to have a letter to our future person, future partner. So you can even cross out the one to the universe and do that for now. If you want to, because you can journal anytime you want. All right. Stephanie says, yes, music. Yeah, music is a soul, and the musicians are soul bringers. I like it. I'm a light bringer. They're soul bringers. It's all good stuff. So find your ways, really tap in, tune in, know that you are an amazing child of this universe that is already equipped to manifest whatever it is that you want. Bing, bing, you always have been. And now we're setting this intention about our love lives and about improving them and calling in our people, our tribe, our friends, our lovers, our perfect person, whatever it is that you are wanting to create in your life at this time, right? So just know that you've got this. They received your order loud and clear. Have fun with this process. Pull weeds, don't pull seeds. Patience, divine timing, allowing, just notice all the things that are happening around you. Take notes and enjoy this amazing process. It is nothing but fun, and it yields nothing but results and all of the amazing things that you are wanting to create and co-create into your life. So I just want to say thank you for being here with me. I really appreciate your donations, by the way. So thank you, Olivia and Stephanie. Your kindness and generosity is well received. So thank you. See how easy that was? And pay it forward, bring this stuff out. And I know you don't even have to do anything, but just be in your be me self. And by osmosis and by energetic jumping, you're going to get all over everybody else. And that's a good thing, because that's what our world needs more of than anything else, is more love. All right, everybody. Thanks again for being here. Give me a shout out if you have any questions or want some follow-up, okay? You know where to find me. Perfect timing. The voice is going. All right. So until I see you again next time, just be kind to yourself. Have fun with this again, and I will see you soon. Love you all. Peace and blessings. Take good care.